this man out of the barracks and send him off somewhere, and he escaped. I remember Pop used to tell us stories as youngsters, you know.
When was your father alive?
Yeah.
And what time would that have been at? What year would that have been?
We're talking in the 1920s and that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, before I was born, even would say, but Papa always was very great with the police constables. He kept both sides of them.
Yeah.
Keep them both happy in case they needed one another.
No, he wouldn't be buried in Clara, but you can keep that book. It's
Thank you. What about Paddy Willie?
Paddy Willie McLaughlin.
Paddy Willie McLaughlin.
Yeah.
That's like a cousin.
Paddy Willie McLaughlin lived on the New Road, and Paddy is no less dead.
Yeah, he was a drinker.
He was a great man for the drink.
Yeah.
And one morning, Sunday morning, we were at Mass, and Paddy Willie arrived with a horse and brought the horse up the whole centre aisle up to the altar. And Father Dyson was giving out Holy Communion at the time. Father Dyson never said a word, only went over and gave Paddy Holy Communion, and he about turned and brought the horse out. And the mother reared them all. There was Phil McLaughlin as well, a sister. She was married to Kelly. No, she's no lent dead in Tullamore.
Okay.
Yeah, and then there was Jimmy, or John. I know there was 5 boys in it.
Okay.
Yeah, I can remember them all.
Is there anybody left in Clara?
Yeah. The 2 of them emigrated and went to England.
Mm-hmm.
But Paddy Willie stayed on and that.
It's funny because Paddy Willie in 1973, we had a outside party.
Yeah.
And he brought a horse.
The mother
And he says, when you're done, smack the horse and he'll head home. And like a week later, he said, which way did that horse go?
The husband died when their family was very young. And like there was no state help around that time.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a small farm. And fair due to her, she reared them well. Now, not because they're here, but they were nice lads, and they wouldn't meet nicer than Phil McLaughlin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because at that time they would have taken them and put them into state homes, industrial schools and stuff like that. So.
Okay, and can you ask him berries? Does he know any berries?
Do you know any berries? Any berries?
B-E-R-R-Y.
Annie
Berries.
Berry.
Berry.
There was berries in the terrace.
My great-grandfather was married to Bridget Berry.
Yeah, there was
1800s.
There was berries in the terrace. There was Patrick Berry and the wife, Paddy. I can remember him as well, because when I was in the shop, they bought the Ireland's Own every week, and the mother died, and my brothers sympathised with him, and I always remembered what Paddy said to him. Noel, he says, you lost your best Ireland's Own customer.
And your grandfather was, what was his?
Michael Costigan, and he was married to Bridget Berry, 1800s.
Yeah. His grandfather, Michael Costigan, married a Berry.
Yeah.
Bridget Berry. Bridget?
Bridget Berry.
Bridget Berry.
Well, it was, yeah. Well, the Berries were ex-British Army soldiers.
Okay.
Yeah, they fought in the 1914-18 war. They were housed by good buddies. Anyone that fought for the 1914, then we had what we call the British Legion down there, you see.
Okay.
They had their own hut and that. And then we had the Collinstown houses. They were built for ex-British soldiers. It was all British, ex-British soldiers that lived in them. And then when the Free State government took over and the British government pulled out, they sold the houses to the ex-British soldiers for £25 each.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't buy the front door.
No.
All right, and what about the Flahertys, Haskell?
Yeah, do you know about the Flatteries?
Flattery.
They had a farm. Patrick Flaherty.
It was the major Flattery.
A lot of kids.
Yeah, as we called them. And he lived down the road there. And he was the manager of the Legion Hut here for years, because on a Saturday, Ray and I would go into it, my brother, and it was a great treat to get a bottle of lemonade that time. And we'd pack up the bottles for him, and he'd give us a bottle of lemonade each.
Is that, they had a farm?
Did they have a farm?
No, they hadn't the farm.
Okay.
Right,
No,
might be
but
different.
they had
Yeah, this is Peter.
They had a beautiful home.
There was
Now, there
Patrick
was
Flaherty.
Flattery's had farms, but they were really only farmers, you know.
Yeah.
Would they have been Patrick? Is it Patrick?
I
And
think
then
it's Patrick.
we'd Flattery's postmen.
No, Pete. I'm sorry, Peter.
Yeah.
Peter. No, Peter Flattery.
What?
Peter Flattery.
Peter Flattery was the postman.
Okay, grand.
Yeah, Peter, Tommy and Bernie.
Clara.
The three brothers were postmen.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is their sons or their.
Could have been their sons, yeah.
Yeah.
Could have been
Yeah.
their sons. That
There's a
might-
whole lot of kids I know.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
three brothers were postmen.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was an extraordinary thing, but the three of them were the postmen. It was a closed shop, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
You knew Peter and Patsy Nolan.
And like Jim Flattery he's in the nursing home. He's the son of Tommy Flattery's, the one of the men of the postmen we're talking about.
Okay. Well, they would be related somehow to Paddy Willie.
Would they be related to Paddy Willie McLaughlin? Would they be related to that McLaughlin man?
No,
Okay.
Different Flaherty, probably.
Yeah.
there was no relationship there.
Okay. What about
Peter Nolan.
Peter Nolan? Right.
Yeah.
Peter Nolan.
Peter Nolan, yeah.
And Patsy Nolan.
There was
And Patsy.
Nolan, there was Johnny Nolan, Peter Nolan, and
Paddy Nolan.
Paddy Nolan.
yeah,
And Willie Nolan.
they worked in the factory, the three of them.
Okay.
And Anton
There's
Nolan.
relations that they are still alive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where would they be?
Now,
Up
Uh,
at Ballyheen.
one of them, you know where way up the town, Page Chemist, you know the big house in the square?
No. I know where the church
Be
is.
across from the church.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that I know.
Peter Nolan.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
came out of the church and we walked to his
Yeah.
house. I remember.
Yeah. And Patsy.
And
Helen Patsy.
Yeah, he knows it. I told him that's it.
Marion Holmes is a Nolan, and she'd know more about it than that. Now she lives in Raheen. It's just up the road. You'd have to get a car up to it.
Okay.
Do you know? Like, and Marion Holmes is the name. Would you think of that? She's a Nolan, and she'd be well up in the. I'd say she'd be well up in the Nolans. You
Okay.
know?
I
Yeah.
good
know
enough.
Patsy and Peter.
You knew Patsy
Yeah, and Peter.
and Peter. They come back and forth, right?
To do, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Because they live by us on Long Island, so my parents would go see them, and then they lost touch.
The
20 years
Costigan
ago.
man was a police constable.
Yeah, that was him.
There's not on
Yeah.
Have you any stories on what they used to get up to?
Of what?
Have you any stories of what they used to get up to?
Of the
Costigan.
Costigan, well, it was more Irish than the Irish themselves. That's the way it was described, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He worked for, would say the Crown, but he was more Irish than the Irish themselves, and it was very great with my father always, and that, and like the shop was where it is now, and the barracks is where the mill house is, only across the road, you know. And as far as I can gather now, he'd have lived in the house opposite.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And see, because the Clara Co-op bought that house after.
Okay.
And
See, at that time they would have had to take jobs just to survive,
Right.
to bring money in for the family.
First man
So
that
whether
went
it was for the
into
British
was
or the
Offaly.
made no difference.
Oh, Flaherty.
Yeah, he went into the house after and we got we got the telephone number of the barrack when it was moved. The barrack was Clara 14, and we got Clara 14.
Oh, really? As
We
a phone
were-
number?
The elite with the good buddies in the small number.
Listen, thank you very much for your time.
Pardon?
Thank you very much.
For nothing.
No, that
I'm
was
sorry I
nice.
couldn't tell you more.
No,
told me
it's
enough.
What?
You told me a lot.
No, but Marion Holmes is your best bet for the Nolans.
Okay.
Would you want to write that down? Or?
Yeah, how do I get there?
This is the one across from the church. This.
No.
Yeah.
No.
He said you got to
And
take a car
what
there.
way is Raheen from here?
What's
How would you get to Raheen from here?
well, the best thing I do is hire a taxi, and it's only about €5 or something to go up to it. And
I have a car. I have a
have
car.
you car?
Yeah.
Oh, you
I'm
have.
parked right by the church.
Well, if you have, where are you parked?
At the church.
Right at the church.
At the church.
At the church.
Yeah. Go straight up.
To the right or to the left?
You know, the church is here. That's the church.
Okay.
Well, you go straight up that street. You
Okay.
pass the garage, Hanamy's garage,
Hanamy's garage, yeah.
and pass them and go to the cross. And it's a dangerous old cross. Be careful with it. And instead of turning right, go straight up, and it's the last house on the left-hand side before the cross.
Okay.
Now,
All right, so it's still basically in Clara.
go
Yeah.
up the church
Yeah.
street, as we call it, past the garage and that, and don't turn now at the first right, you know.
Okay.
You go what we call a by road, straight up, and it's the last house
I know.
On
I can
the-
write it down for you.
on the left-hand side.
Okay. And her name is.
Marion would
Marion
write.
Holmes.
Here we
I'm
are.
going to write it all down on an envelope here for you. Can I take this envelope?
Here you are.
Because I actually know that road.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, here we go. Back of his crosswords he does every day. Right, so you're parked at the church.
Yeah. Right opposite the
So
church.
you're here at the
Yeah, you
church.
can keep that.
Can I keep that?
Sure.
Right? So
If I
you go
find out
straight past
more,
the church, like
I'll
go straight
write,
as
yeah.
if you're going out
Oh,
of
good.
Clara.
Yeah. Let me write
And
my
the
address
turn
on the
is
back.
there.
Huh?
Okay?
I'll write my home address.
So to go out of Clara, that's the turn. But there's a little road just here that you can actually go up before, as you turn this way, there's a tiny by road here. So when you go right up to the very end, take this road on the right. And it's the last house. Is it the last house on the right, is it?
On the left.
On the left. So it's the last house
And tell Marion I sent you.
on left.
Brendan
Marion.
Kenny is my name.
Mr. Kenny, you got it. Thank you very much,
Brendan.
son.
For nothing.
Well,
I'm
spending some time.
sorry, I couldn't be more.
No, you did enough.
Right. So say it's just as you're here at the church. Just keep going straight. That's to bring you out of Clara. But just as you, yeah,
Just follow that.
yeah. But
Raheen.
if you just instead of going directly that way,
Okay.
there's a little by road, and
Okay.
it's as you're going to, you can just see it straight across the road. Yeah.
Okay.
Can I borrow your pen for a second?
Yeah, of course.
Follow to the left.
What year was Brendan born?
1927.
Ooh, and born and raised.
Born and raised,
Yeah.
Clara. Never
left.
Never left. No, I'll leave that with you.
Thank you.
Never left. No, Brenda was. He could tell you some stories about sorry, what's your first name?
Joyce.
Joyce. Tell Joyce about the time that the RUC came into the house here.
Pardon?
Tell her about the time the RUC came in to burn the house.
Oh, yeah.
What is RUC? Royal
They
Ulster.
came one
Library.
time. We were living in Bridge Street at the time, beside the
The store.
shop. And they came one night to burn down the house. And my sister was just born. She was 2 days old, and my mother was in bed with her. And the commander came in and ran up the stairs, and he caught mole on his face, you see. And he says, I evacuate the place here immediately. Get it done immediately. We're burning down the house. So my father was associated with the IRA. So my father was sitting on the side of the bed, and the next thing, the sergeant looked up, there was a picture of the Sacred Heart over the bed. And he said to my father, "Where did you get that? Where did you get that? Where did you get that?" And my father said to him, "I won it as a Bible history prize going to school." Extraordinary, he says, extraordinary. My wife has won identical, the very same. But I don't believe in it, he said. But I don't know what to think now, he says. I came to burn down the place. And he kept backing out and backing out. And the next thing he went down the stairs, and they had the petrol and all strewed all around the place to burn it. And the next thing, it was tenders, they used to call the transport they had. My father heard the tenders starting up, and it went off. And my father always said that the picture of the Sacred Heart saved the
Saved the house.
okay,
They never burnt
yeah.
it.
Wow.
and I still have that picture.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Still has the picture.
Amazing. Amazing.
Wasn't it an extraordinary thing? Like, to me, it was a miracle. You know,
Yeah.
like we often say this, we talk about whatever religion we are, but there is a God in heaven. You know, no matter what we think or that, I mean, our family, my mother was Church of Ireland and my father was Roman Catholic, and what we never knew there was any difference between religion or not. We went to church as often as we went to Mass. And
My mother was a Scottish.
we never were
Protestant.
brought up any
And
other
she-
way,
she-
do you know? And like, from day one I loved history,
Yeah.
yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and I wrote like books on Clara as well. They went all over the world.
Yeah.
No
yeah,
kidding.
we sold nearly 4,500 or 5,000 of them.
Wow.
What can I give you? What can I give you for this?
Pictures.
What can I give you for this?
Pardon?
Okay.
What can I give you for this?
Yeah,
So-
you hold on to that.
Okay. I retired from the police department.
Oh, you were in the police department.
Me, my
there.
father,
that's
my
nice.
brothers, we were all
Wow.
cops.
I'm here for long now.
We're another week
Yeah.
in Ireland.
Now, if I find out anything, but even I might send you a Christmas card anyway.
Yes.
Great.
Oh, he will. Guaranteed he will.
Yeah.
Actually, can
But it's lovely to meet you.
Very nice to meet you. Thank you very much for spending some
No,
time.
for nothing.
thank
I wish
you.
they could do more for you, but
No, that's great.
Thank you.